So you have completed your sales setup and you're up and live with your sales process. Congratulations. So now we're going to start the financial setup. At this point, I advise you to loop in your accountant or whomever is your bookkeeper at your venue. The reason being there's some critical setup that you want to make sure is aligning with how they are keeping your books. So we're going to go through each step of the financial process broken up into bite-sized videos like we've done in the last couple phases. So these are videos that you can send forward to your accountant if you see appropriate and have them assist in those areas of setup. Now, before we go into the setup as a whole, I do want to go through just an overarching look at the financial aspects of Sonas, just to kind of see it in full picture. So when we're creating events in Sonas, we're going to be associating, first of all, an installment plan. So we're building up a package and we can define what that package is. So if you're dry hire, maybe that package is venue hire only. For a full event, it could be something like you have 100 adults included, the cost for additional adults. If you have evening guests included, evening guest costs. And then we'll break down a package based off transaction categories, which we'll dive into on your financial setup. We've talked a little bit about them under categories for venue configuration. But we're setting up the package price. We're breaking it up into categories to meet the purposes of the transaction categories. So quick reminder, tax rate association, being able to run revenue reports, and these are the accounts that money is assigned to for your accounting software integration. So be it a Zero integration or a Sage export or another financial record export. Then you have your total package amount. This is the amount that your initial payment plan will be based on. So it's going to take this amount, which is the mixture of these categories, and create maybe a booking fee and 3 additional payments or whatnot. This could possibly be your final event price. You know, if they stay to 100 guests and they don't upgrade their drinks, don't upgrade their food, so they're serving the Prosecco and the chicken, they can have a lovely event probably for this amount. However, you'll see a majority of your couples or your customers going through that portal and upgrading, adding on additional services, upgrading a 2-choice menu to a 3-choice, or adding a 4th canapé, upgrading Prosecco to champagne, whatever the case may be, and having the beauty of those incremental increases. So ideally, you'll see them go above this, but this is their starting point, their base package price. So we'll show you how to build out that payment plan and in these categories and whatnot. So when these installment plans are developed or created, I should say, it will create charges. Let's see, look here, we've got some charges here. And charges, and this is a test event, so it's got a lot of stuff going on here. But charges will be just that, charges. That the couple can go into their portal or staff users can go into the portal and apply payments to. Once a charge is paid, it will convert to an invoice. Now, we do have a workflow for your B2B customers if you want to convert charges to invoices before the due date. So maybe 30 days before or 45. So we'll go over that down the road. But charges stay as charges, they pay them, they convert to invoices. Once you have an invoice, that's when it will sync either to Xero, or you can export that invoice information to import into your software program, maybe Sage, for example. But since the charges are living in Sonas, Sonas is going to be your source for cash flow, for what's coming in. It's also going to know who's overdue, who's overpaid. So we can go here to the finance section and maybe go to accounts, use event date, open up the event statuses, and go from through the end of next year. and we could see if there's any overdue. And then be able to run out and have any overdues here. Let's just not delete. Yes, we do. So I can see that, this event right here is overdue by 799. So you can run your overdue. Of course, you can export here. We'll go and we'll deep dive into that. But just showing you that this is where this is living. And your report section is where you're going to be able to see your cash flow adjusted for overdue, cash flow adjusted for overpaid, or just your basic cash flow. You'll also be able to see your financial records once things have been paid. But if you just wanted to see your transactions, if you wanted to know what your charges were that are, maybe it's your due date next month, you can see what those are. So you have all that information living within Sonas. Once that financial record is raised, so invoice or credit note, that's when the job is handed over to your accounting software. So your tax filings will be done via your accounting software and any of your post-event workflow. So like Xero calls it journaling. So moving items from your like deferred sales to your actual sales. So all of that will happen within your accounting software. So just a little look at what happens here in Sonas and what happens in your accounting software. And it's a very clear line in the sand, and that's at the point of financial record. So when that financial record information is passed over, it is going to put the full amount, it's going to provide that transaction category, and it's going to provide the tax rate, because all pricing in Sonas does include taxes or VAT or GST, whatever your area calls it. All of it is tax included pricing. Now, as you go through your setup, we're also going to go to invoicing. We'll deep dive in on that in its own video, where we're going to be associating the tax rates with the categories, setting up financial documents, and going over a couple options for setup. So definitely pay attention to those videos and just go step by step. And this will set you up for the first step being updating finances of existing bookings that you've migrated in as part of your sales setup. And then we can start kind of have that date where you're going to say, okay, go. We're going to stop raising invoices in our existing workflow, and we'll start raising invoices in Sonas. And at that point, you'll either turn on your integration or you'll start exporting that documentation into your accounting software. So we're going to take it step by step, like we've done with all the other setups, and get you ready to go to handle finances within Sonas.